all, I want to address my hat because I know some people probably looked at it real fast. Like, does that say what I think it does? Yes, it does. And it's very relevant for what we're talking about tonight because we grew up in the times where people could say whatever the hell they wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter where they was at, any venue, any setting. It was, freedom of speech. I say what I want to. If you think it's funny, great. If you don't think it's funny, move on. You know what I'm saying? If you were shocked by it, then just put a sticker on my shit and don't buy it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I grew up. But that has a lot to do with what we're talking about today, which is cancel culture. The way y'all move now. Yeah, is when people say things and do things that people don't like now, they choose to not just make the personal decision to say, I don't want to fuck with it. They choose, it's a whole culture now where everyone has to get on board to not like each other. And so that's what we're going to talk about today is cancel culture, kind of get into some of the people who were canceled. I don't know if they're canceled or not. We're going to talk about that.
It kind of comes in waves.
Yeah, I don't know. The attempted cancels, the potential cancels, the people who should be canceled. We just going to get into that. So make sure y'all get your comments in below. Let us know who you think should be canceled. Make sure y'all, chime in. Let us know.
Let's go. I've been there, I've done that. Hey, but what do I know? I wrote this and won that. Oh, but what do I know? I got degrees and went to schooling. But what do I know? Survived backstabbers and Judases. But what do I know? I've been out here, man. I've been doing it. Let's get to the dough. I've been showing it. I've been proving it. I'm ready to go. Discuss the what, whys, and who did it. Let's get to the show. This podcast just might be the go. Oh, but what do I know?
What's happening, y'all? It's your boy Trey Smith. I got me a special guest host with me tonight. Ruckus will not be here for the rest of the season. She had to handle some biz, and of course, we always support when she's got to handle her biz. However, who better than someone that I dated at one point in time, and then we actually became like the best of friends. For our subject tonight. So I'd like to introduce everyone to a good friend of mine by the name of WHITNEY Wilcox. She will be our guest host for tonight. So what we're going to be talking about tonight is something that we always seem to go back to on this show. The dating pool in Colorado and community property. Now, before we started the show, we were talking about exactly what does community property mean. In my mind, it means somebody who is fucking everything moving. And, you really don't find that out until you get with that person and then you're in public with that person and you're getting them looks and niggas is asking you shit like, oh, you fucking with her now, huh? And usually when somebody say something like that, it's You come to find out it's a long line of people that you can't invite to your wedding. Because, like I said, I there's people I know that have went out of their way to smash me and my friends that
oh my,
I can't get back. I can't deal with that person anymore because what the fuck I look like marrying you and then I have these niggas in the wedding looking like, yeah. So,
right.
We're going to get into a bit of that tonight. And I have a few questions that we'll kind of go back and forth about. Definitely want to hear your intake on it. And, of course, I'll give my spill on it. So let's get into it this evening. My first question is, should you ask about the person you are dating's, like, sexual background, or is ignorance bliss? And if you do ask about the sexual background, is there anybody in particular you think should be asked outside of that person you want to find out about, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think that someone's like sexual background is really none of my business. I think the only thing that I would care about is your sexual health, and if you are clean and you don't have any diseases, like that's the only thing that I would want to make sure of. And that's an easy thing to make sure of by just getting tested right before you decide to like be intimate with that person.
Yeah.
I think that I don't prefer to date or be intimate with someone that my friends have been with, just like you were saying. Like I would rather not that happen. It's happened, but it was kind of like a distant friend, but I had him first. So do what you do. Do what you do.
I'm not gonna lie, there was a point in time that I would be hoping word around town got out about this dick and one of your friends would like me. But you know, you get older and realize you really can't fuck everything moving, especially not this dating pool in Colorado. I know for me, and I joke about it all the time when y'all see me on social media and I say my dick is bougie. No, my dick really is bougie. I get tested every 3 months for everything, even when I'm not sexually active or don't have a sexual partner. It was a point where my primary care, and that's a sidebar, don't fuck people who don't have primary care physicians. But like, it got to a point where every time I would go in to get tested for everything, she'd go, new sexual partner? And I'm like, no, that's just me. I want to get tested for everything. And so after so many years of my primary care asking, she finally just understood that when I came in to get a checkup and get blood work, that was just part of the routine for me now. Okay, shoot. Would you ever ask, like, as far as wanting to deal with someone in that sense, would you ever ask, like, best friends, social media, people who know the other party in general, anything like that? Or just go straight to the source? Like, seriously, like, I would go straight to the source. Mm-hmm. Now, this friend that was messing around with someone I messed around with, they did not come to the source. Like, I didn't find out later until I spoke with him, but I don't know. I think I'm a CSI. Like, I like to investigate first. Mm-hmm. Like, I like to see if we have mutual friends on Facebook and Instagram and kind of check that out first because, I'm curious. Because like I said, there's too many people in this, like, world for me to be, like, I don't know, fucking around with who you're fucking around with. There's too many people for that. But at the same time, maybe someone I messed around with is your soulmate. I mean, that's, that could happen too, I guess. I don't know. We all be fucking too many of the same people. That's why at some point in time in my 30s, I had to branch out and be like, let me find everybody who, people who aren't, quote unquote, I don't know if you want to call it popular in college, whatever the fuck y'all call it here. I started going out of my way to actually find, deal with someone who isn't popular. And then, I mean, that still didn't get me nowhere because then by coincidence, maybe it's just my luck, maybe it's y'all's luck as well, but I always find that one person that's already fucked on somebody that I'm cool with. And now I'm sitting there like, well, we've already kind of developed a bond at this point. So, I try my best, but I'm not naive. I know this is Colorado and we're kind of a small knit community where 9 times out of 10, you're going to end up fucking with somebody who's fucked with somebody It's true. And I think that it kind of depends on, like our situation. Like, that was what? I don't know, 10, 12 years ago? Yeah. You know what I mean? And like so, early 20s. If I date someone, if it gets serious, like, I'll explain the background of me and you, but until I feel like it's completely necessary, I'll just be like, that's my best friend because you are, and we are better off as friends, and that was a very long time ago, so I feel like, the time has a lot to do with it. If it's been a really long time, but if someone came to you and was like, hey, yo, like, we're best friends, but we just broke up 6 months ago type of situation, that's a little bit harder to accept, I think. Yeah, like, way. I think early on it's like, nigga, I'll kill you, the fuck? I loved this person, motherfucker. What do you mean? Yeah, it's just too close. It can be awkward if that is the situation. Yeah, I don't know if any of her homegirls have ever been, you know what, I'm going to give him some, but I think I would. There was a window where I'd have been like, yup. Now it's like, you know what? No, that is kind of, you get older and you're like, nah, that shit is kind of awkward. Cause then you're just kind of sitting there and what if notes are being traded or some shit like that? Like, girl, he did this one thing this one time. I don't know if he ever did it to you. Like, I don't want to be in the middle of that kind of conversation. Yeah, that's one thing. I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, obviously people are going to experience you differently. It's not going to be the same experience, but
I don't want to like sit at a table with someone looking this motherfucker in the eye, knowing y'all are smashing and you're my friend. Like I think that's an awkward scenario. That's a very awkward scenario I don't want to be in. But Colorado, like, I don't really date in Colorado.
Good for you, man. You know what? I support that. I support it. I'm not gonna lie.
And the people I have, dated, like, it's, it is what it is. But I tend to try to branch out of side of Colorado because that's just that's where I'm preferred, honestly. I think in my own personal experience, like when I go out on the town or whatever, I don't really get approached like that. Like no one comes up to me and wants to get to know me or have my number. Like, it just doesn't happen for me here. But I have a preferred body type. So motherfuckers in the South, East Coast, that's a whole different experience for me when I go over there.
So, it's not like a PT stripper thing. I don't give a shit. PT strippers ain't thick. So they in contrast to what...
Listen, I was going to take you for your birthday because I have a few favorites that I just ran into recently.
I don't know.
And I was like,
There was one thick one that I've never seen her again. And then I don't, just me being on my biased dude shit, she clicked her heels. I didn't know like clicking your heels means that's how they get your attention. So when I found that shit out in my mind, it was like, you don't tell me what the fuck to do. I'll come over here and I'm ready. But, and that's one of the other reasons I, don't go to strip clubs as often, because clicking your heels at me like I'm a child or something. Like, motherfucker, I'm grown. I'll come over there to your table when I'm ready. So... But that, again, that's just me. That's some shit I got to work on personally. That's all.
Oh my gosh. Got to take you to the South and get you involved there.
This is what I keep hearing. I want to go to Atlanta or in Georgia in particular because they actually play my music at the strip clubs in there. Shout out to the strippers at Pinups. I heard y'all are fucking amazing. And to find out that my music is actually getting played in the strip clubs, let me explain something to y'all. If the strippers like your shit, your shit will go places. Trust me. Like,
there you go.
So I had a song that's 3 years old that got played in a strip club, and I looked up and it had a shit ton of streams after that I was like, damn, who the fuck is listening to that? And then when you look at the demographic, you're like, all right, that's good. That's good shit. But
yep.
Can you date someone with a history of being community property?
Well, I mean, I guess like we were kind of just talking about this before filming, but like, what is your definition of community property? Like, what is that? Just is it for you? Is it a woman that a lot of dudes have been with? Is that what that means to you?
To me, it's a woman that a lot of dudes have been with. Period. Like.
Okay, so but why?
I think it's because like I want to be able to be somewhere with this person and not have a bunch of niggas looking at me like sucker. Like, I don't want to be that guy. And I get it, it's inevitable that we'll run into somebody that you've probably fucked around with again, because in Colorado, where our community is that small.
Yeah.
But I don't want that to be a constant thing where everywhere we go, and then I find out one day, like, there's somebody I won't date right now, and we're good friends, but she was at a party where a lot of fucking was going on. And so a lot of the stories when I was like really invested in getting to know this person, a lot of shit from that party got back to me that I was like, okay, we probably wouldn't be in a relationship or date or like, but we cool. We could be friends. We couldn't even, back when I was just, before sex started getting really like personal to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we can fuck from time to time.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, meaningless sex just made me really fucking sad. Like, oh.
It does make you sad.
I didn't enjoy that at all.
I don't know. I feel like I'm a very open-minded, free-spirited person, and I want people to have sexual experiences as they please. But I can understand your point of view by everybody kind of thinking like, I had that, you know what I mean?
Right.
It might take the special connection that you have out of it. So I could understand that, but at the same time, I have a friend that like was dating a whole bunch of women, and like all of them were like hating him.
Wow.
But at the same time, like, he's a single man, he can do what he wants to do, and just he can do what he wants to do. I don't know, like, Is there a number, like, would you ask someone, like, how many people they've slept with?
Nope. As you become an adult and you get older, I don't want to know your number. I just want to know that you ain't got some disease that I can catch and never get rid of, and you know, I don't want to be dealing with you, and you done did some wild shit, and then I look up one day and I'm surprised, nigga, you got the herpes. Like, I'm never gonna get rid of this. This is terrible. Like, you know what I mean? I think I'm more focused on, are you a decent person to me? Do we get along well?
Right.
Even before sex now, at this point, it's like, do we connect well? Are we firing on all cylinders? Because if we're firing on all cylinders, that's going to make sex that much better between two people.
Right.
And I gave the secret away, so I got to go and have a meeting about the follow-up to Weenie Roast. I gave the secret away. The more a man likes you, the harder and longer his penis is. So if you ever... Well, some niggas just don't have no length and girth, from what the women said. But for those of us who do have length and girth, and we are mentally invested into liking you and dating you and fucking with you, and it has to be something that triggers it. But the more we like you, the longer our penis gets.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You ever?
Are you sure about that?
Yes,
Is that scientifically proven?
Yes, it's scientifically proven.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Learn something new every day.
Ladies, you ever been fucking with somebody who they didn't fuck you quite right the first couple times, and then for whatever reason y'all had a great time and everything was just connecting mentally, y'all was in tune with one another, and you was like, why are you fucking me like this? Because he really, really likes you, and this shit got harder and longer, and
interesting.
He was like, I'm gonna show the fuck out tonight.
Huh.
It all starts with just being nice to us. I promise you. That's the easy. Like, we're easy, ladies. I'm not gonna lie. We're fucking easy. Just be nice to us, and that'll get you in the door immediately. You gotta keep being nice though. You can't be nice to get in there and then be like, "It's your ass, nigga." Then we don't feel as great about it no more. So if you was ever being mean and was like, "Still come get this ass," and he didn't fuck you, was good because you was being mean. But if you be nice to him. Don't nobody want to have sex on no attitude. I'm going to tell you, a bad attitude, you don't invest your best into having a bad attitude.
So what if someone came to you? What if she wanted to share, like, her number with you? And she's like, yeah, it's like 300. Like, would you feel some type of way about that? Or you still wouldn't care?
At this age, I'd be like, bitch, you better not tell nobody else that number. You might not tell no fucking body else that number.
God.
That shit between me and you. If I happen to meet two niggas that you did the dude at the same time, hey, my nigga, hey, shut the fuck up. Don't you say shit. This is my girl.
I don't know.
I don't know, man. At that number, I wonder if your vagina still, like, did you take good care of it throughout that number? Or
maybe. Is
it just exhausting and is it going to feel like, for me, I'm throwing a hot dog in a hallway? I need to know
that's not a thing. Do you know that? That's not a thing.
Okay.
Can we talk about vaginas real quick? Because I feel like we should.
That's a nice segue.
Like
Go for it.
The vagina, it stretches. You know this, right? You have a child, okay? Mm-hmm. It stretches. It goes back to its original, size. Now, maybe if you don't do Kegels, it could get a little bit looser over time, but do those Kegels, ladies, and they'll be nice and tight. So that doesn't not matter. Oh, well,
I don't know. Well, so then let me ask, can someone with a history of being community property or community dick or vagina or whatever, can they be husband or wife material?
Sure.
Wait, why? I'm curious. Hold on.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, just because you choose to have sex with a lot of people doesn't mean you don't want, marriage or commitment, or you don't want to be monogamous, right? Because when I was in my 20s, I was just sometimes. But it doesn't mean I don't want marriage and commitment now. Now that I'm older, we're older now, so we, like you were saying, like, sex is not something we want to have casually. At this age, we want it to have meaning, and we want it to lead to long-term relationships. But I wouldn't. Yeah, they could still want that, don't you think?
I think you can. You just have to, move and think differently. Don't think just because you moved to Texas, your wholeness is deleted or something. Just embrace what you did here. Y'all, and it's for everyone in Colorado. Y'all don't have to keep moving to Texas after you done fucked everything moving or whatever. Like, stop doing that shit. Just be who you are here. If you
Texas got good housing market, okay? That's why we moving to Texas.
That's true.
Okay.
But I'll give y'all that. But at the same time, why is that to go to? And when you have reached a certain level of fucking everything moving, first place y'all go to is Texas. And I'm like, that's weird, but all right, whatever. Teach their own.
You want to know why?
Yeah, sure. I would like to know.
Okay, so here's why. Because I go through this right now. Like me, I want a black man. I'm not opposed to dating other, races or whatever. I'm not opposed to it. I just don't get no one but black men approach me or want to get to know me. That's just not my experience. But like there's not a ton of black people here in Colorado. I mean, there's a good handful, right? But certainly the women were always going to outnumber the men. And there's only a small number of us here in Colorado. So what ends up happening is the black men end up dating the white women and the Mexican women, which there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just because that's majority of what's here. There's not a lot of us to choose from. Or if there is, we went to high school with you, we went to college with you. You know what I mean? So that's why we got to go where the black people are. Like,
yeah. Okay, well, I get that.
I got to go where the black men are, you know what I mean, to find, there's a ton more black men in Texas than there ever would be in Colorado. Same with, Georgia and other places on the East Coast and down South, So that's, and same with men. They're my damn, I got to go where there's black women,
and at the same time, it's weird here. Guys here have a weird habit of wanting to go out of their way to tell you that they used to fuck someone you dealing with right now, and I'm like, well, why the fuck would that matter to me? That's what happens when two people who are attracted to one another 9 times out of 10 they gonna fuck around. Now, unless this motherfucker was a prostitute and you was turning her out and all kind of crazy shit, then I might have to be like, that's a little too much for me. But somebody gonna love you. Somebody gonna love you, just not me. But I think there's just the dating pool in Colorado lacks maturity, in the sense of, I don't care. And again, it's me getting older. I don't care about your history because there's probably some shit I've done sexually that you don't want to hear. I'll tell one now is there was a girl who was fucking around with the homeboys, and I don't know what the issue is. What them niggas started fighting about it, but when she left, I was like, "So what are you doing after this?" And then me and her ended up. You know what I mean?
Listen,
it's stuff like that I'm like,
I know all the stories.
Yeah,
that's why I'm looking at the camera like that.
So it's just one of them things where I'm like, I get that we all have like crazy shit that we've done in our history that it's like, are you just a good person to me? Are you a good person to me? Can we get along well? When it does come to that point where we decide to fuck around, I've dealt with people where it was months before we fucked around and they ended up being terrible people. And I've dealt with people who we fucked on the first go round and they ended up being great. So exactly. I think it really just depends on your character when it gets to that point. Is it harder to trust someone who is considered like reformed community property?
To trust someone? I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think your history plays a part in it. Like, not so much of how many people you fucked or how often you got fucked. More so, are you out here dogging these niggas? Because I don't want to be the next in line to get dogged. Like,
yeah,
you know
for sure.
I mean, if I feel like if you just you call yourself wanting to be in these monogamous situations, and every time you get in these monogamous situations, you dirting on the nigga that you call yourself wanting to be with or whatever, or wanting to get close to, then that's a little different. I think that's way different because it's like, I don't want to be in that line of niggas that you just done dirted on and now I feel away. I've dated a woman who I waited 6 months for sex. Whole time she was fucking somebody else. And it was like, when I found that out, it was like, well, had I had known that, I could have been fucking other people, is all I'm saying to you. I became the problem at that point, and that's when I was like, oh.
Well, I mean, you could have definitely been doing that anyway. You chose not to, right?
Yeah, that's because I thought we was waiting for one another.
Oh, that's what you thought?
That's what I thought it was.
Oh, did you guys have that conversation?
Yes, we did.
Oh, and she said, yes, we're waiting. Oh, okay.
I'm not fucking with nobody. I would like to wait. And, cool. I'll wait till you're comfortable. I'll wait till you're ready, because that's what you're supposed to do.
Well, maybe it's because she really did like you, because sometimes that happens, and I think that happens with men too, where you're like, you're cool to hang out with, but I don't really see like a long-term future with you, but I like to have fun with you. I think we all do it. So maybe she was like, I really like him, so I'm gonna like really wait it out so he takes me more seriously. Maybe that's what happened.
That'd have been cool if she waited it out. She was fucking someone the whole time.
But that's what I'm saying. Maybe she was just having fun with that other person, but she really Well,
I could have had fun with other people too. Is my point.
Oh, why? I understand, because why? Just be honest.
Yeah, why I got to sit around and not do no fucking, but you doing all the fucking.
You know what? You know what's crazy is I feel like there's like this weird line between being honest, but then feeling like you don't need to share because it's not the other person's business either. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like sometimes that's a weird in-betweener to be in. You know?
I think it's also at the same time you have to be. I think honesty has to outwin that portion of it, because I don't want to sit here and have this impression that neither one of us are having sex and we not doing anything until you're comfortable and you're ready, because as a man, I'm going to respect that. We are going to fuck around when you are comfortable with us fucking around, because when I know it's something you want, when I know that it's something we're both prepared for, I'm going to fuck your soul away. But I don't want you to, I don't want you to give me no sex because you feel like, well, the nigga bought me dinner tonight, I guess I'll give him some. Like, oh, well, nigga, I'm not confident in having sex with you now. I don't want you to give me some, oh, well, the nigga made dinner, I guess I'll give him some ass. I want you to fuck me because you want to fuck me, and vice versa. So I think with that, I think that was my only issue, was just like, had I known you was fucking somebody else, I'd have did my own thing too, until you really decided like, hey, we shouldn't be doing this with other people. I would like to do this exclusively with you. Okay, bet. Then we can move to that.
So then you learned, you're like, well, I won't be doing that again. We'll be waiting again.
Now,
until a relationship is established, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, until a relationship is established, busting hoes. Well, not no more. At the time, that's how I felt. I don't bust hoes no more. I really be at the crib chilling.
See, I heard all the stories about busting hoes, but I know that you, but I know you want marriage and commitment though. So see, you can go through, you can bust hoes and then still want marriage and commitment. It's fine.
I don't know, cause when you inherit a house, I remember when my dad and we loved Miss Harriet. We love Miss Harriet. Even my mom was like, "Why the fuck didn't you marry Miss Harriet?" I remember asking my dad, and he was like, "I just don't want her having all my shit." And
this is someone your dad was
with? Someone he was dealing with.
Oh, I remember this, yeah.
And so now I'm wondering, like, am I getting that same bias of I don't want nobody having my shit, because I done got so comfortable organizing this house by myself that I'm like, well, fuck. And I mean, and to be brutally honest, I have to deal with someone who understands, like, when it's time and it's all said and done and I'm old and ready to go, I'm leaving that house to my kid. Unless my kid is in a whole other position and he's like, I don't want it. Don't worry about it.
You mean that's like that's what you keep thinking about as far as like marriage goes? Like,
yeah, when it
I don't want to get married because I don't know if I want someone to have my shit. Is that what you think about?
Partially. The other part of it is like I think we, at a certain age, you get so comfortable in a space that you want to. When you allow someone in that space, and we can call it that, we're adults, you're allowing someone essentially in your space when you interact in that way.
Yeah.
I think it's just now I'm very careful about, hey, this is a big adjustment to me now. This is not the same as I had an apartment and I'm doing apartment living and you can come there and you got a kiss. This is a house that I have that it's like, if you're in my space, I want to be able to be with someone where we could create memories in that home. As we get older, you know what I mean?
Think that I think that we all, it's scary to commit for a lifetime, of course, but I think that if you're choosing the right person, you will not have to worry about that.
Yeah.
It's going to feel right to you.
Yeah. Have you ever dated someone who was community property before you got together?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right.
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, even like a friend that I had that, like, you know, likes to have fun. He's a single man, whatever. My experience is not those other women's experiences. Like, my experience with him is way different.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, so. But not that I know of. I mean, I haven't run into like a man that I was interested in dating and then had heard a whole bunch of like, you know, rumors essentially about him. Like that hasn't happened for me.
Yeah.
It hasn't.
I think you're not going to hear no wild shit about me because I don't tell, for me, sex is something that if it's, whoever's in that room knows what happened in that room.
Right.
Unless they're eager to, like, tell their friends, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be happy when my exes that I'm cool with, when they have a friend that insults me or says something like, I bet you that nigga dick ain't da-da-da-da-da, and that ex goes, that ain't true. And I be like, you all right with me, goddammit. But I just think, I don't know, man. I've made a conscious effort to not put myself in a situation where somebody can be like, girl, you know that nigga was at an orgy and he was butt naked in the same room with a bunch of niggas and they was fucking on the same. Like, I made a conscious effort to not that none of that type of shit has happened, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like Pimp C and Bun B when them niggas was doing an interview and Pimp C was like, me and that nigga, they been my brother for years. Nigga ain't never seen me butt naked in the room with no girl, and I ain't never seen that nigga butt naked. And I was like, that's me. That's me. That ain't never happened between me and my brothers.
Yeah.
Even when we would go kick it with a girl. Nigga be in one room, I be in another room, but we don't never see nobody naked. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking anybody who has those stories. That's your business. I'm just saying for me personally, I don't want that shit to come and bite me in the ass and it's somebody I really like and they're like, nah, nigga, I heard about you. And you're like, oh, it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, I mean, that's never a fun thing. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. That's what I try to do. Like, whatever you did, you know, or like to do before you met me, and that's your business.
Yeah.
I guess, you know. Like I said, as long as you ain't coming with no diseases. Here's the thing, too. Now, not just sexually, but, like, I can't say that if someone came to me and said, this person did horrible things to me, you know, they did this, and this to me. I mean, I would definitely be concerned for that person's character for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know how I could proceed with you just being a horrible human.
No, I agree.
But
I agree.
I probably would ask you about it though, actually. I would like to get both sides of the story.
Yeah. So if like, as far as getting both sides of the story, have you ever dealt with someone who like was a known, like, would you tell your friend if they were dealing with someone that's like a known hood rat or a known fuckboy, like, hey, I just want you to know this is something I've heard. Just giving you a heads up type of thing.
You know, no. That hasn't happened for me. I mean, I was in a situation where, like, I had a great relationship with somebody, but towards the end did very disrespectful, hurtful things to me. And that was relayed to his now wife. But she still married him. So why the fuck does it matter?
Sorry, I know.
Like,
just
you know
like
I mean?
how we say we know stories, I know who this is, so that's why I laughed. So if you see this shit, y'all know who y'all are. Yeah, I laughed at you.
Yeah, I mean, and it doesn't make him like a horrible human. Like, he just made dumb decisions with me, but that's not her experience. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, because he may have learned from what happened with me and, you know, changed his ways. And obviously, you know, he's married with, you know, kids now, and that's a great situation. But it doesn't, I guess, I don't know. I think people are going to date who they want to date regardless of what you tell them, you know.
True.
And it wasn't even me, like, you know, we're in a close circle of friends. So it wasn't even me trying to go and be like, guess what? You know, it just, the information got relayed through close friends. So, and those close friends wanted that person to know, like, hey, you might want to think, you know, this happened, so I just want to let you know, but everyone's going to make their own decisions.
Yeah, understandable. No, I give warnings. You know what I mean? Ultimately, I know I can't force someone to pick and choose who they will and won't deal with. I'm aware of that, but if I know like this person has a fucked off history, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna try to deter you from dealing with the person, but I will give you like a, hey man, be careful. I don't want to look up and this is something that I could have told you, so you're avoiding whatever hurt or heartbreak that comes with it. So at the end of the day, if it does go that way, because I don't be hoping it goes that way for anybody. As far as my friends, I hope whoever you choose to deal with brings you nothing but happiness, and that's from my male and female friends and everybody in between as well. Whoever you deal with, I hope they make you happy. Right. But if I know that there's a chance that shit may go sour, and there's a reason it may go sour, I'll give you the heads up, and then from there, you have the choice to decide if you're going to deal with it or not. Because I can't tell you whether you can or can't.
Right, exactly.
Now, if a motherfucker got a disease they can't get rid of, I have to tell you.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, it's something that I have to hear because I work in healthcare. I have to hear it from someone outside of healthcare.
Yeah.
Because there's times that I've seen things about people in healthcare that I'm like, I can't say shit because you don't want to get a HIPAA violation in healthcare. It'll be damn near impossible for you to get a job in healthcare again. So it has to be something that I'll go and be like, hey man, I heard, there's someone I think who's a dope person right now, but I found out they got the gift that keeps on giving, that I'm like, no. I don't want to be fucking with nobody I got to take antibiotics and shit for. Like, that ain't my cup of tea.
Yeah. I mean, I think that people, if someone has something and they have to take medicine for it to just, control it. I mean, it wasn't even about them, being out there like that.
Right.
Sometimes you just have your trust in someone, and unfortunately it fires back on you, and it's a sad thing. But I think it's someone's responsibility to tell their sex partner if they do have something that they have to take medicine for a lifetime. You know what I'm saying? That would be the respectful thing to do, which,
I agree, because that's, and at the same time, that's a high level of trust.
Yeah.
You're really giving someone the opportunity to even determine if they would still deal with you to that capacity. You have to, in that case, like, I would be eerie. I would stop dealing with a motherfucker if I said, hey, I really like you. I like where this is going. I think we should both get tested before we get to this point. And they were like, for what? I'd be like, nope, bitch, never mind. This shit is done. Like,
yeah, that's a little concerning.
Yeah, y'all gotta be, and this is all across the board, man. If y'all dealing with someone, and number one, don't fuck them if they ain't got a PCP, because 9 times out of 10, that's who you gotta go see. Number two, we have to, just don't go fuck nobody without no PCP. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a minute to, I got a few more questions I want to ask Whitney, and then we'll, we'll wrap it up. But we'll be back in a moment.
When it comes to finances, what type of advice do you wish you had at a younger age when it came to finances that you be using right now?
Ooh, I mean, there's so much, but I would say the biggest one would be invest in yourself. That would be the biggest one.
How can someone invest in themselves?
Just basically, instead of seeing what people are doing and copying that and trying to be like them, is basically take that same money and come up with your own idea and then invest that money in yourself. So, I mean, perfect example is, I love The Rock. I see everything that he's doing, but instead of going out and buying t-shirts about The Rock, I came up with my own clothing line and invested in myself. Now I wear my own tees.
Every day you wake up, you say, how can I do better for me?
How can I be better than the person I was yesterday?
16 years old, I was on my way to a juvenile bid. You know what I'm saying? I was out doing dumb stuff. And I didn't have to. I'm not going to sit here and talk about how rough and tough my life was. I was doing stuff I didn't have to do. So I would tell my 16-year-old self, man, believe in yourself. You can live a productive, legal, prosperous life. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen overnight. It's like, building a house, brick by brick. Building a wall, brick by brick. I mean, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year. That's how it works. You know what I'm saying? My young self wanted that instant gratification. You know what I'm saying? I'm, part of that microwave age, I would tell my 16-year-old self, man, believe in yourself, teach them certain things about what a real man is, because, we're taught certain things about what a man is that's wrong. And that's the whole thing, when we grow old, it's that wisdom, it's that knowledge. But we learned it from living and experiencing and from making bad decisions, you know what I'm saying? It's got to be a little dirt there if you want a man to grow. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be a little dirt if you want anything to grow. You know what I'm saying? So I've grown through my dirt. You know what I mean? Some of it not proud of. You know what I mean? At the same time, I'm not ashamed because of what I've learned. You know what I'm saying? And I humbly just move forward.
And we're back. You are here on But What Do I Know with TREY Smith and my guest host for the evening, Whitney Wilcox, aka Frizzy Hair Gang. It's time for me to get my shit redone.
Yeah, I was struggling today.
Yeah, so we're just talking about community dicks and vaginas, and how you should go about them, and if you should keep them and accept them for who they are. So, my next question going into that is someone's physical history a red flag to you?
Their physical history?
Mm-hmm.
Like, no. Like what they like to do sexually?
Like what they've done, or just is there one thing that someone could do that you're like, yeah, I'm good?
Like I said, I'm so open-minded, but because what they have done with other people and what that other partner preferred is not going to be what I prefer.
Right.
So as long as we have boundaries set to where we've talked about what I prefer with you, and as long as you're not if a guy came in, he's like, yeah, my last partner, she liked me to shit on her. I'd be like, okay, cool. I don't like that though. So please don't do that to me. If that's what the other one liked, great. So I don't think it's a red flag really of what they like to do sexually. I mean, I can definitely tell you that as a heterosexual woman, I prefer to date a heterosexual man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if I'm totally closed off to the idea of dating someone like a man, like a bisexual man. Like if he came to me and told me, I've dated men before, I don't know if I totally cut him off in that aspect, but I think that would just be my preference. But I don't. Yeah. We all have a preference, right?
No, I agree, because I've been in situations where I've dated someone who, would want to offer me a threesome, which I'm finding out apparently you ain't got good dick if you're getting offered threesomes. I don't know how this spectrum works anymore. 1 minute, if you got great dick, you get a threesome. The next minute, if your dick ain't that good, you get a threesome. And I want y'all to figure that out so I can better understand you, women. But one of the things that she wanted to do was I was all for a threesome as far as women, but that's because she had an attraction to women. I wasn't for a threesome with men because I ain't attracted to dudes. And I told her that shit would be a kryptonite to me. You would be expecting me to do what we do and another dick is in the room and I'd be like, this motherfucker ain't gonna work until he get out the room.
Sure.
My dick, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to see another dude in the room naked. Like, that nigga got to go. Like, you would be mad at me. And, you know, if you decided, well, I'm gonna fuck the other dude anyway, then that shows how you feel about me. And then I gotta burn down the room with both of you in it. But it just, I think, I don't know if it's necessarily a history. Again, for me, it has to be some unbelievably wild shit that, again, I'm not knocking you for it. I wouldn't judge you for it, but it's just, there might be that thing that I'm like, nah, that's too much for me, but, you know, to each their own.
Exactly.
Like, there's motherfuckers who be like, spit in my mouth, and I'm like, whoa, that's, I'm a germaphobe. That shit ain't gonna happen. Like, meh.
But here's the thing about that. Can we talk about that? Because the thing about it is, I wouldn't prefer it either. But at the same time, like, if you think about it, if you're like kissing someone and you're like really like making out with them, you're slopping saliva. Yeah, so what's the difference?
I'll tell you the perfect difference. So I was dealing with someone that when we would kiss and she would add extra saliva to the kiss.
My. Okay,
and I was like, ah.
Oh, yeah.
And she got so offended, but I was like, just kiss me normal. Don't get to add an extra spit into the kiss. Because now I'm sitting there kissing you and shit's going down and I'm like, ah. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, why are you adding all this extra spit to the kiss? This is gross.
Yeah, that seems, yeah. Okay.
If I feel like we kissing and you're hogging a fucking loogie in your throat while we're kissing to push it like,
Yeah.
Sorry. I know, like,
I get it.
When I'm dealing with someone, I'm like, yeah, I like, oh, girl, I'll do this freak shit, this, and this. But I still have a limit.
Sure, everybody
If you touch my asshole, I'll fucking kill you.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Don't touch my asshole. Okay, so perfect example. I had a friend who... We've been cool for years. We've been cool since high school, and she was like, if I come over and kick it, I just want to know if I can give you head from the back. And the idea of having my ass tooted up in the air was like, no, that's too much for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if this is someone I was really involved with, and, you know, my son is in, you know, especially at my house now, my son's in his room or he's in the basement, and he comes upstairs and catches me with my ass in the air, getting head, and I'm just like, hey, shut the door, nigga. Like I have to explain. He's gonna get older one day and be like, I feel like he's gonna test me for a fight because he saw my ass tooted in the air from getting head. Like, nah, I don't want that. Ain't gonna be me.
Listen, I mean, whatever makes you comfortable, but you know, like I said, if you've never done it, you don't know how you feel about it.
I know how I feel about the visualization of my ass being tooted in the air.
But you wouldn't be looking at your own ass.
But I know that my ass is in the air.
But maybe you wouldn't know because maybe you do it off some drunk shit.
Maybe she can just give me regular head without my ass being...
Maybe.
See? Like this shit.
Right.
I don't want that. I don't, you will never see me like that. Like, yeah, girl, from the back. And I got length, so it's long enough if she wanted to, but I don't want to look like this dude right here. Absolutely not.
That looks like a good back stretch. You might get a good stretch out of that.
I'm good. I'll go to the gym if I need to stretch my back.
I was supposed to introduce.
Yeah, so like, nah. So, this is more of a true or false question.
Okay.
Once a cheater, always a cheater.
No, I think that's false. Now, if you're a serial cheater, then probably, yeah. But I feel like we're all human. We all make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if you made a mistake and, you know, hopefully your partner forgives you for it, you know, if you're cheating, then, you know, don't do that shit again. But if you keep doing it, then yeah, you're probably always going to be a cheater because you just don't care at that point. You do not care at that point.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
You just don't.
That's a beautiful segue for me to remind y'all once again that Derek Jackson is full of shit. Derek Jackson, all these years, has been teaching y'all how to stay away from Derek Jackson. Not other niggas, Derek Jackson. I remember one time we were having a conversation. It was your house, and I don't know who else said it. We gonna get to the bottom of it, though. But someone at her house said, that nigga talks like he's done all of this shit before. And that sat in my head from that point on. Probably and come to find out, that's exactly what he's doing. Again, a nice segue to tell y'all that Derek Jackson is full of shit. But we gonna get back to it. Now, my next question is this. Is sex better with someone who has experience with satisfying different parties?
Probably.
I'm gonna say hell yeah.
Yeah. Because like in anything else, if you don't like, okay, now let's take this back. Let's take this back like a couple hundred years. Like obviously I know that, and you know, also people's religious beliefs, like some people don't like to have sex before marriage, and that's all a beautiful thing, you know what I mean? Because really sex can be taught. You can teach your partner how to
please you
in the right ways. So I mean, but I know that from my sexual experiences, I've learned something about myself and something about sex in general from those experiences. That's made me the lover I am today.
See? No, I can get that because and it's funny because I wanted to talk about with that question as far as like when men say, "Yeah, girl, let me show you how to suck dick," and y'all go, "What do you mean how?" Like, fellas, y'all got to change the verbiage of what you're saying, okay? Say, "Let me show you how I like my..."
Exactly, yeah.
How I like it sucked. Try this on it. Try that on it.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to really catch your verbiage when you say that. Otherwise, they going to call you gay again. You know, there's a whole list of everything.
Communication and... Well, I don't think that is the case. I don't think that's the case.
It's never the case. But y'all, we live in a time where
it's not a gay thing. That's not a thing.
I can't even wear pastel colors without being called gay. And I'm like, damn, nigga, I just thought this was a nice earth tone.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
So,
people are extremely ignorant and judgmental. But yeah, I lost my train of thought.
No, I get you. So like, perfect example in high school, my brother Reggie, he would you know, nobody really tested Reggie because we was just some fighting ass niggas in high school. But I remember Reggie had like a couple of pink polos that he would throw on just on some fly summertime shit with a nice pair of shorts or whatever. And, you know, boat shoes, whatever. And, you know, of course, niggas was ignorant then and not really as understanding now. And they would call Reggie gay and niggas would get beat up if you called Reggie gay.
Well,
just on some like, no,
you know,
and
that's the thing. Like, people are so. I mean, there's lots of men out here who aren't comfortable with their sexuality, and colors have nothing to do with your sexual orientation. You know, and I know people see it as like a feminine, masculine thing with colors and certain styles, but we're so beyond that. It's not even funny. Like that's that's nothing to do with anything, really. I mean, I think I think we all have preferences. Like, I would prefer a more masculine style in a man, you know what I mean? I would rather us both not be wearing dresses. That's just what I prefer. I don't judge anyone who does, but if I'm gonna date a man, I would not like us to both be wearing Fashion Nova dresses. Probably not.
If I wear a kilt, the homies better mind they business. Balls out all summer, like, yeah.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Was communication and like how you deliver things are really important. Yeah. Going back to like, you know, telling your partner like, hey, you know, I would really like if you did this, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Say, little mama, can you go get a fruit roll up real quick and put that thing on there and just I don't know if that I've never. That? Yeah, I want to. I don't know how well that works because I'm like that just seems like a lot to suck an entire fruit roll up off of my thing. Like,
well, this is my question from that. Did you see it? You saw it, right? From the lady that made the reel? Mm-hmm. Is that where it came from, right? Is that where you saw it? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, like, I'm trying to picture in my mind, like, how she did that. Like, did you take it and, like, put it over the entire shaft of the penis and then you just sucked it through the fruit roll up? Because to me, I feel like that wouldn't feel very good to you because you'd have something, like, blocking your dick skin, essentially.
I feel like it would be blocking like the sensation you get from just skin on skin head. I feel like that'd be equivalent of y'all giving head while the nigga got a condom on. I just feel like you can't read if you do stupid shit like that. I can't say the word I want to say.
That's a safety thing. You can definitely give oral sex with a condom on. That's a safety thing.
Now, I'm confused. I feel like, do you trust me or not? Fuck that. Don't put no condom on and then be like, now I'm going to give you head. And I'm like, no, this is stupid. I don't like it. Maybe they want
to make sure first before they go all the way.
It was like the first time I had a threesome and they was eating each other out, but every time it was time for penetration, I had to keep switching condoms. So I was like, do you motherfuckers trust one another or not? Because if you were worried about getting something, you've already eaten it. So, you know what I mean?
But eating it and having it inside your vagina is two different things.
I don't know. I just
Probably.
And somebody probably out there like, man, he had a tough time with threesomes. Yes, I did. Them shits is exhausting.
I'm not all the way sure about that, but I can imagine that, yeah, having it inside your vagina is different than in your mouth sometimes. Yeah. I don't really know, but.
So do you think there's a such thing as too many past partners?
No. Too many past partners? No.
I would never date a porn star.
Oh, well, I thought you were talking numbers.
Yeah.
Past partners. Okay, so what do you mean by that?
Porn stars got numbers on the board because it's their job. They don't quite see it the same as you know what I mean?
But they do, actually. Have you ever watched an interview of a porn star before? Because I'd be very intrigued to know what people's perspectives and what their lifestyles are like outside of adult entertainment.
I read a book by a porn star.
Okay.
His name it's the guy who said it's the guy who would say dropping lows. So he has a book, and the book is actually called Dropping Lows, which I thought it was fucking hilarious that he named it that. So I was like, nigga, I gotta read this. But I just think they, I don't know if they view it different, or I think what turned me off to ever even wanting to, if I ever had an idea that I would date a porn star, was seeing Tiana Trump share a popsicle with her kid. I was like, oh, that poor fella. Oh, this is.
Has nothing to do with it.
It's just tough to, dating someone like that, and then when it gets to a point of intimacy or they get home and. It's the joke I made where I said you got to be careful when you ask your girlfriend, has she tried 5 guys, and differentiate, are we talking about burgers or niggas? That's the part I don't ever want to find out. Babe, have you ever, 5 guys is pretty good. Have you ever tried it? You mean that once? Get out my house, bitch. Get out my fucking house.
No, someone asked me this. They asked me, would you date a porn star? And I don't think, so we started talking about if you really, it kind of takes away, you obviously as a monogamous person, okay, and don't get me wrong, monogamous people can just be free if they want to be free and they don't care, but the experience of having you and seeing you naked and sharing intimacy with you is a special thing I want to hold. Mm-hmm. So if everyone else has seen you fuck other people and be naked, that takes away a special part for me.
Right.
And you know what I mean?
Understandable.
But I don't, judge sex workers or people who are in adult entertainment. I love you guys. I watch you guys all the time. So I appreciate you. However, I don't know. I don't want to, that'd be a little bit too much for me.
Yeah, no,
I'm someone who doesn't mind attention, but I would never want to be famous. I would never want to be, that would be way too much for me. And I don't think I could date someone who was famous either, because that would be way too much for me too. That's just way too much attention. Yeah.
Shit, fuck that. I flirted with Nia Long on Twitter. That shit got a gang of views and a gang of plug. And then finally, after months and months, she winked back at my comment. If I ever see Nia Long, she's like, go for it. You niggas will never hear from me again.
Did you see the day that Winston Dukes watched my story?
Yeah, see?
Winston Duke is my celebrity crush, and he liked a comment I left for him, and he watched my story. So
see, she'll give M'Baku some ass right now.
And would.
See? Do you feel like one person's trash is another person's treasure, or is trash just trash?
I think that, just because I had one experience with someone doesn't mean it's going to be the same experience with another person. So I think that it just depends. Like I said, I guess it depends on what the trash is. If you're just a horrible human, you just do really fucked up shit to people, you hurt people physically, mentally, and you go out just then I would just be and you can have that, because I wouldn't want that.
Yeah, I think it's based on which. By the way, Sierra said NASA. I don't know what that means. But she put that in the comment section.
Oh my God.
Honestly, man, I think it just depends on the interaction. Because I know I've dealt with people who I've heard fucked up things about, but I've had nothing but good interactions and good dealings with these people. But I've also dealt with people who, I dealt with the person and they turned out to be trash. And then, my partner might have dealt with the person and also got the same results and realized, oh, this person is just a trash ass person.
Right. It just depends.
And,
yeah.
you know what I mean? I really think it depends on individuals. I know sometimes people do shitty things. You really have you have to have an intention to be better for me to look at you differently. But if I look up and I see you doing the same shit everyone done, nah, man, this motherfucker does X, Y, Z. Naturally, I'm going to be like, that's my fault for thinking you could be otherwise with me. Because I always give people that point of, if you're dealing with me, I can't judge you on what you've done before. I can judge you on how we interacted.
Exactly, right.
And if, I get a shitty interaction from you, then unfortunately I have to join the herd of people who also think you ain't shit. So,
yeah. Yeah. It goes back to a friend of mine where, people were kind of talking shit about him, but that's not my experience, with him, and so I don't know.
Do you think Denver is the problem or the factor in like successfully dating someone who has a lot of sexual partners?
No, I think that no matter where you live, like if you live in a small town and you either decide that you decide how many sexual partners you have no matter where you live.
Right.
So that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, what's the best way that I could put this? I don't know if it plays a part, because knowing people in other states and them having those same issues where they're like, dude, you have this crowd of people who they're looking for someone who ain't fucking everything moving. It's different, and I can say there's a difference between someone who's still actively trying to fuck on everything they see, as opposed to, they might have had that moment, like it's what we all call the hoe phase. We all had that phase where we was just out here exploring and figuring out the things that we like when it came to the opposite sex, or in some of y'all's cases, the same sex, or whatever y'all liked on the sexual spectrum.
Right.
We all had a moment in life where we had to figure that out. And so now that I'm older, that's how I know that I don't want my ass tooted in the air when I'm getting head, or, extra saliva and shit like that. That you learn from the experience of going, you know what?
But you haven't had the experience of having your ass tooted in the air. So.
Because I don't want to. And I'm okay with that never happening.
I'm just messing with you.
Ever. I'll burn the house down with all of us in it.
No worries.
That's why I had your ass in there. Cool. Let me go get this match real quick, bitch. I'll show you.
There's some things sometimes we just can't imagine. As open-minded as we want to be, there's just some things we can't imagine ourselves doing, and that's okay.
I agree. I just, I think, I don't know. I don't think that plays a part in it. What has the largest influence on you? Is it your partner's past, your current feelings, or public opinion?
My feelings.
Okay. Is there like a certain level of most important to least important within those three?
I think definitely public opinion is the least.
Yeah, definitely.
I would say that if someone came to me that I extremely loved and trust and wanted to give me some information about a person, I probably would trust them. If my close friends, and I have a very close knit friend of girlfriends, and that are very honest with me and I love and I trust. If they came to me and was like, look, this and this happened, and I know this happened, they had facts, they could back up the facts, and they wanted to kind of just, put it out there to me, I'm like, okay, thanks for the information, Would you tell someone, like, okay, so like if I was in a relationship and you saw that dude out with somebody else, would you come and tell me?
Shit, man. because we're friends. Like I would figure out a way to get the evidence first.
Yeah.
To say like, hey, I just want to let you know, I know you feeling old boy, but he move a little differently. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, there's probably going to be a lot of people who see this and be like, well, no, nigga, because you need to... No, if I can avoid someone that I care about being hurt in the end, or even worse, finding out this is some shit that I know and saw, and now they're looking at me different as far as our bond, then like, yeah, I'm going to do what I can to avoid that. Because ultimately, if we not friends, if we don't have that same kind of bond, I owe no loyalty to you niggas. Yeah. I'm mindful of people. I'm respectful of people. But if you fucking over somebody that I care about, family, friends, whatever, if you fucking somebody over like that, I'm not entitled to keep your bullshit away from them. I'm now, once I present that bullshit, how they choose to deal with it is completely up to them. Yeah. But if you fucking over my homegirl, you fucking over my sisters, whoever, and I catch you in the act of it, I'm gonna let it be known. I did it with my sister before, where dude she was dealing with, I seen him at a bar picking up somebody else that I know, and I went back to tell my sister. Now, of course, I told my sister don't fight the girl, because this girl, she likes violence. So I was like, yeah, you don't go about it that route. Like, the girl he was picking up has no fucking sense. Yeah. And if I said the name, a lot of you would be like, yep, you right, but I'm not gonna say the name. So I think definitely I owe no loyalty. If you're trying to dog one of my friends, I owe no loyalty to you. I owe more loyalty to my friends to make sure they avoid some bullshit like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. I mean, I try not to get in people's business, but yeah, if you're like a really close friend of mine and I really care about you and I don't want you to get hurt, like, I feel like I would almost try to like have that person be honest themselves, so I don't have to do that. Like, if I saw him out somewhere, like, let's say that I knew that this person was in a relationship with my homegirl and they are exclusively in a relationship, okay? Not an open relationship, then I probably would walk up to him and be like, hey, what's up? How you doing? And then hopefully he'll be like, shit, all right, well, guess I'm gonna have to go tell, hopefully.
Yeah.
So I don't have to do it, but yeah, I think proof would be big. You don't want to go and tell someone something and you don't really have the proof to like back it up, because that's when things can get muddy sometimes. And then, it gets muddy.
Me and the homeboy, we know a girl that we saw on one of them cuffing websites or something. She was dancing with a whole other nigga. I was like, hey, yo, my mans, you're not going to believe this shit. And then that's how we mutually agree. Like, oh, man, she's a terrible person. She's not the person she presented herself to be. But you seen that picture. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I don't. I hate you a little bit.
Yeah, I had to get that one off. But lastly, question that we can cap this off with: is popularity a factor when dating someone who was or is community property or community dick? Like, does that play a role in like, well, actually, this person is pretty popular? So, because I've seen y'all fuck on people who are just really, really popular, but don't have shit going for themselves behind the scenes. I know people that y'all fuck on that are popular that don't take care of their kids, or if it's a woman, they don't have their kids. Like, and maybe it's my fault for being a bean dip moderator at one point in time. But because of that, at any given moment, just know there are people who want to come to me and air out all your bullshit. Now, it's all safe with me because I always say I let adults handle it how they see fit and I stay out the middle of it. But just know, there's people who come to me and want to air out a lot of bullshit behind the scenes. But y'all popular and motherfuckers don't care. So, whatever. Popular. Do you feel like that plays a role in it?
Of like me wanting to date them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I guess overall, I would just have to have a connection. Our morals and would have to align. Our goals would have to align, just like I would date anyone else. So I think that I would probably care about that more than them being popular. Like I said, as long as you haven't run through my close girlfriends, then, you know, I'll give the benefit of the doubt and try to get to know you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. She had a couple homegirls, and this is before I matured, that I had said, like, if they had ever been like, I'm gonna get this nigga some, I might have took it in that moment. I might have been like, yeah, all right, let's do that.
Really?
Yeah, just a few, but you mature at one point in time. And you're like, man, I can't do that. That would be terrible. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Don't ask her who. I'm not gonna tell her.
It makes you feel
I'm not gonna
better.
tell none of you.
I have not thought that about any of your friends. So.
Yeah. That's nice of you.
And even if I did, I wouldn't ever do it.
See, me neither.
Yeah.
I swear I wouldn't. I wouldn't. There was one, and it was a real small window where if it was, hey, come on, I'd have been like, hey man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I got to do this one. I apologize.
Oh my God.
But
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm glad that she came through to guest host for me. So I do want to thank you for coming to hang out with me. This was absolutely hilarious and fun.
Sure.
And, we learned a lot of things about one another this evening, about shit we like, what we don't like, and people we can't stand, all that old cool shit. So
no, I knew everything already.
Yeah. That is so that's gonna be it for this show. Y'all tune in next week where we'll be talking about the Denver nightlife. Unfortunately, we've had a couple of venues in the past, however many months that we all love closed down, and we want to kind of get to the root of it and see, at what point in time do we accept accountability and say, hey, we got to do something better in order for our shit to keep getting shut down. So I'll have some people who are a part of the nightlife as far as promoters and security, and me even doing security at my second gig. I'll have some of my intake on that end. Again, Ruckus will be gone. She's getting to the monies, so we got to root for her in that sense. We definitely got to do that. But tune in next week. You can catch us on the AHRR Network on Facebook and YouTube, as well as Twitch, Instagram, and if I'm missing one back there, y'all, I apologize. You can catch me on my social media, TREY Smith, Trey the Artist page. Womack was here 83 on Instagram, and as usual, I fucking forget my Twitter. Trey on TikTok, you can see that as well. Is there anywhere you'd like to show them that they could find you at to interact with you and
sure, yeah,
purchase feet pics probably?
Oh, no, you did not. Anyway. Yeah, that's true.
Shit, I'm selling feet pics. Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm big on Instagram. Like, I love Instagram. I'm not big on Instagram. I'm just saying, like, I like Instagram, and that's always a fun thing. So, at WitLovinPlus is my Instagram.
Okay, and that's all?
That's it.
Perfect.
That's Instagram.
All right, y'all. We're going to get out of here on that note. I'm glad y'all came and hung out with us for a little while. Again, we'll see you next week. Good night.
Bye.
What's happening, y'all? This one half. Shit, running back. It's your boy, Trey Smith, and guess what? We are on our way back for a new season of But What Do I Know? Me and Ruckus. And we bringing our dreads. She's bringing the yams. And we gonna be here every Wednesday. And what platforms are we on this time?
I was supposed to introduce my own yams. Anyway, we out here on those platforms for y'all to follow us, to make sure that I got yams and hips to go with these yams. Nigga, the yams fun. Hashtag Rux Yams and Hips. Yams and hips. Okay.
Cut the check for the yams and the locks. I need mine to get long like hers. That's what we gonna do. Give us your monies.
Where does the money come from? Like, what?
It's gonna be drugs and strippers everywhere. We gonna do all that bullshit. She don't know it. I didn't discuss that with her, but that's cool. That's cool. That's what we do. Anyhow, check on us every Wednesday to make sure we okay. He won't stop laughing.
Take 98.
Okay, so let me put the new one.
That's my line.
Oh, that's your line.
That's my line.
Okay. Shit. I'm not gonna add that line. All right, here we go.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl Ruckus, one half of the What Do I Know podcast. We are coming back to y'all on Wednesday nights on the AHRR Network.
And guess what? We gonna be on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. Twitch, cut the check. We out here, man. We need this money and shit. We got babies.
That part.
I'm ready to go. Discuss the what, whys, and who did it. Let's get to the show. This podcast just might be the go. Oh, what do I know?
These great sweats, the motherfucker in this fucking picture, nigga. That shit like, nigga, yeah, like, god damn. Let me step back for a second. Like, get the whole circumference of nigga. What the fuck?
Man, y'all ain't, you know what I'm saying?
Nigga, this squat